Thank you for joining us this morning. Tomorrow is June 12th, a date that carries deep meanings in Nigeria's democratic journey. It marks the anniversary of the historic 1993 election and the long struggle that followed for the restoration of civilian rule. But since this year's Democracy Day comes with an interesting twist, civil society groups, activists, and concerned Nigerians have chosen the same day to stage protests over insecurity, economic hardship, and the rising cost of living. Among the leading voices are individuals who themselves have long histories in Nigeria's pro-democracy movement. Perhaps the greatest irony is that these protests are taking place under a president who was himself a part of the struggle for the actualization of the June 12 mandate and who paid a political price during the military era for his democratic convictions. So, what does this moment tell us about the state of Nigeria's democracy? Is it a sign that democracy is working because citizens are free to express dissent? Or does it suggest growing frustration over the dividends of democracy more than 3 decades after June 12? Let's unpack these questions and more with our guest, Olabi Sheriff, who is a rights activist and co-leader in bad governance in Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So, first of all, tell us, what's the plan?
The plan is to organize a peaceful protest. As we all know that June 12 remains a symbol of Nigerian struggle to democracy, justice, and accountable government. And we plan to have this peacefully, as I've always do. And as long as I'm there, I believe we'll be able to achieve and contain the crowd as I used to. So, and at the same time, we have plans to sensitize people, with voter education on the street and market people and passerby, just so that they can understand that they have a right to freedom of expression, freedom of assembly as guaranteed under Section 14, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution as amended.
Now, what exactly, there are those who will be asking what exactly the issues are for you. We've talked about hardship, economic hardship, hunger, and all of those things. There are those who would argue and say, okay, you know what, we can raise the issues with the federal government, but then are the states also part of the people that you are speaking with? Exactly who is the protest targeted at?
First off, we start from the top, then we come to the bottom. As I mentioned earlier, the constitutional guarantee freedom of assembly, freedom of speech. And at the same time, we need this administration to understand that it has failed its people. Because the primary obligation is to protect us and guaranteeing our freedom of expression. So we are going to start by generalizing our agitation by holding the president to account, the Senate to account. Then we come down to governors, even reps, or whoever that is representing us out there and has failed. So those are the channel we are going to be going. However, this demonstration is not just about agitation, but it's about the alarming failure to secure the lives of the people today. The insecurity bedeviling us today is beyond control. And clearly, you can't tell me this government is in check. Obviously, they have failed. So these are the things we are going to be, agitating for tomorrow.
Okay. All right. I often raise an understanding that I have that many of the issues that we're dealing with today aren't new. I was talking with someone yesterday. I was saying, look, as far back as the Second Republic, we've been talking about austerity measures, and it's only gotten worse over the years. So there are those who would point to the fact that these are historical issues. These are issues that have been there for very many years, and successive governments have not been able to deal with them as decisively as we expect. So that's why I'm asking, what's the objective? What's the hope? What's the end game that is being targeted for this protest?
The end game is to hold the government to account and
How?
put them on their toes.
How?
As to redirecting their obligations in office. Let them understand that they are failed and they need to prioritize governance and avoid politicking with human lives. As you can see, in a sane country, I'm sorry, people like Wike, Okpebolo shouldn't be in office because these guys tend to toy with the lives of common man Nigerians, with the level of impunity that is involved. It tends to worry you as a citizen, like, is this a Nigeria that we seek? So these are the things we are going to.
So when you say, my apologies, when you say they are, because they are not here to defend themselves, when you say they are toying with the lives of Nigerians, do you have proof of that, and how does that happen?
Of course. Now, just yesterday, I think yesterday, it was there, it is there everywhere. Okpebolo said something, and I'm going to quote him clearly. He said, regardless of the insecurity, regardless of the kidnapping, continuous kidnapping, Tinubu is going, the Aso Rock is not going to be vacant for anybody. Regardless, in fact, he went as far as saying that they can come and kidnap them too, but that Aso Rock is not free, is not going to be vacant for anybody. That is completely abysmal.
Okay, so how is that toying with people's lives?
That's the emotion involved. Okay. Now, emotion is that people, the life of these people in captive, the families of people in captive are grieving already. They are concerned. They are worried. And you coming out politicking with the life of the people, not prioritizing the insecurity bedeviling us, saying that you don't care about the amount of insecurity involved as long as Tinubu remain in office or he remain in office or whatever politicians remain in office. So that is where I'm coming from. That's the angle that I see, that there's no empathy as to leading this country from these politicians. So, and Wike as well, you can see his level of arrogance, impunity. Sometimes when you ask him questions about accountability, he just derail and arrogantly tell you what are you going to do, or start quoting constitution that is not even just. So these are the things that is alarming to us when it comes to leadership recruitment system. Okay. So it has failed, and these are the things I think we should.
So do you think the issues you have raised, particularly about these two gentlemen, do you think it is justiciable?
It is, because so many occasions you can see them, they will do everything.
By that I mean, do you think it's something your movement can take them to court for?
We can do that, we will do that. In fact, we have planned to. So this time around is a coalition of civil society. It's not just about one body this time around. Society, trade union, communities. It's a big one, I must say. Okay.
So is this a national protest, or is it happening by that I mean, is it happening in every state of the country, or is it just a few states?
It's a nationwide protest. Nationwide protest. So we have people everywhere already, ready to...
All 36 states?
I wouldn't say all. I wouldn't say all, but at the majority of the states will be stepping out in numbers tomorrow to demonstrate their dissatisfaction about this government.
You don't have a specific number of states?
I can't say clearly now, because we are still in the process. In fact, today we still have some meetings in that regard to properly, get it right across the state. But definitely it's going to be a big one.
Like 20 states, 30 states?
Minimum of, so far now, if I'm not mistaken, I think we have about 16 to 17 states.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that Mokwe, my colleague in Abuja, has questions for you as well.
Please.
Go ahead, Mokwe.
Ayo, I'd like to ask Comrade Sheriff, what are some of the things that you think that citizens can do? Because I do know that in conversations around democracy, we have been told, yes, when the elections are approaching, we're told as members of the electorate, go get your voter's card, participate in the process. And oftentimes we think that maybe a change of government or reinstalling of the person who was there before satisfies what we need to do as citizens. But some people will say that the work actually starts when the people that are elected have been elected. And that's when citizens now need to keep them on their toes. So aside using instruments like protest, what other ways do you think that citizens can be truly active? Because largely it seems that we're just about our business as ordinary Nigerians, trying to eke a living, even though the actions being taken by our leaders affect our daily lives. And aside protests, we're left with very little instruments to show our dissatisfaction or even be a part of the process when decisions are being taken.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we are going to be doing everything necessary to engage the public this time around, and we just have to do this because we don't have a choice as a concerned Nigerian, genuinely concerned Nigerians, because we can't continue to watch the country in disarray or mismanaged by thieves. Yes, I'm sorry to use that word, because thieves are leading us, criminals are leading us today, and you can't expect leadership of a criminal system and to be this effective. But we should be setting something like this, obviously. So we are going to be using.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Sheriff. When you use words like that, we have to use them with caution. You know, anyone who is called a thief must have been proven to steal something by a court of law. Otherwise, we stand legally liable for the comments that we make. Whilst it is that we say the things that we say, I think that we can have these conversations, express our angst without using words that, you know, hold us legally liable.
Consequences involved, and we understand, except we are being whitewashed, except we are whitewashing situations, because as it is today, I'm here to say the way it is, and I don't want to, you know, hold anything back. I understand that there could be a case of defamatory or whatever, but what I'm saying, the facts are out there to back it up. However, moving forward, as you've asked earlier, we can't continue to watch this government fail us, infringe on our rights and oppress us, silence us, and we are going to use every means necessary at our disposal to sensitize the people and agitate peacefully in this regard.
Yeah, I think the larger question I was asking is, beyond agitations, beyond protests, what other instruments would you say are available to citizens to explore? Yes, protests are legitimate instruments, and I think they're protected by law. However, you know, in a democratic process, there must be other tools of engagement, other tools to let lawmakers or even members of the executive know if they're on the right side or not. Protests cannot be the only instruments available to citizens to hold their leaders to account, can it?
Yeah, we will be using the media. I think the media is powerful enough, either the mainstream or the other medias, to engage and agitate. Even from your office, from your comfort zone, you can participate in this ongoing protest. So I think that is the avenue and channels we can use to, you know, make this known to the public or get our demands out there. So lawfully, these are the platforms, these are the places we can use to, you know, get and vet our, you know, demands and agitations to the Nigerian people.
I think you are looking at the question I'm asking based on the prism of the protest which you're holding tomorrow, and based on what it is that you're planning tomorrow. But what I'm asking is a little larger than that. I'm talking about our democracy in broad, general terms. You know, taking it away from just elections and taking it away from the protest which you're planning tomorrow. I'm asking, as an ordinary citizen, or even as citizens, what other tools do you think are available? I mean, you talked about the media. The media does its job. I mean, we do what we can do on a daily basis, and this is why we're having this conversation with you. But we're wondering, you know, for ordinary citizens who are not in our profession, who are trying to get by, who live at the grassroots level, as somebody who is along this path, what other tools would you advise that they use, or what other tools would you say are available that can be explored to be able to hold leaders at whatever level to account?
Okay, now I get it, because I'm having difficulty with the audio here. We are going to be having a voter education moment tomorrow, whereby we'll be going into the rural areas as well to sensitize the people and make them understand that they have right to do so many things. And those are the current plan that we have. We don't want to go outside the lawful, box. So we want to do this lawfully, peacefully, and I don't think after the media and going to protest ground in person or going to courts, there should be any other way to agitate or get our demands out there. I don't think there should be.
Perhaps be a bit clearer. Excuse me, you are talking mostly or largely about the protests and what's happening tomorrow. I think my colleague's question is about outside of the protest. What else are ordinary citizens supposed to do? For instance, one of the words used in your sector is advocacy, education. You mentioned education. These things, these protests, the hunger didn't start in one day, and insecurity didn't just start in one day. And they are things that are the lived realities, lived experiences of Nigerians over time. So the question that I think Mapwa is asking you is, what else can people do to ensure that we don't even get to the point of protesting, but we continue to ensure that our voices are loud and strong enough to deter all of the issues that you are now protesting?
Oh, okay, now I get it, because I had difficulty with the audio. Okay, my point, yeah, okay. The point is that the people need to resist the oppressor.
The question is how?
The people need to by rejecting their stomach infrastructure idea, rice, semo, oil, these are the things. Insecurity, they give you rice. Bad governance, they give you rice. No electricity, they give you rice. They give you semo, 1 kg or whatever it is. So these are the things we need to sensitize our people in the rural area, that you have to reject this recurring, madness. So these are this should be one of the mode of protests on its own. And I believe this will in fact, this will go a long way if we can achieve this from the rural and grassroots area. By rejecting them, when they come, let them understand that your vote is what matters and you are going to stand by it. You can't buy it. You can't silence us. We don't want your stomach infrastructure any longer. So it's a form of protest on this one. These are the things we are going to be doing when it comes to voter education.
Well, then I think we're going to have to make a lot of noise on that, because it will be difficult to stop anyone in the rural areas who are facing clear hardship, to say no to something that they think can solve their problem today, and they will face tomorrow's problem tomorrow. Now, so in that same breath, still aping from the earlier question I asked you, is the fact that many people don't even know who their councillors are. Most of the time, these protests, rightly so, are targeted at the president or the federal government. But then the councillors collect money from the local government administrations. The local government chairmen also collect money. The House of Representatives members, they collect money from government as well. The state governors, commissioners, heads of agencies at the federal and state levels, they have responsibilities, and that they collect money as well. So is there any plan to educate people about those as well, so that the engagement doesn't start in Abuja, it starts right there in their localities?
Yes, exactly, on point. And this is the problem. Ideally, if our institutions are working, we shouldn't be the one to sensitize people in this regard. The National Orientation Agency is there. That's their job, to orientate people, bring this awareness to the Nigerian people, and they are paid for it. So which they have failed. You can in fact, those guys are not even existing, in my own opinion. And then the INEC itself, educating, voter education, way more on the INEC too, because they have it in their agenda, and they are not doing anything so far in this regard. So we are just going to believe that as long as we can achieve and make, at least I believe hardship is enough now to convince many. We don't have to say much now, because like you rightly mentioned, that the rural area they are really facing a lot right now. To talk more of we in the urban, region. So we are going to capitalize on this hardship, hunger situation, and give them reasons as to not to engage in vote buying or vote selling or stomach infrastructure situation.
Okay. Well, as we always say, we can only wish you the best. We are on this wing, as Marquez said the other time, to bring the issues that happen in our nation to the Nigerian people. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Wolabi Sheriff he's a rights activist and co-leader in bad governance in Nigeria. We appreciate your time on us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.